Welcome back to the Boomer Technician channel. Today, we're talking about car show planning in 2026. As you know, I'm trying to drive to 50 car shows in 50 different states. And while that sounds pretty simple, there's quite a few issues that come up that are a logistical challenge. Car shows tend to only be on the weekend. I'm starting my trip out of Denver, Colorado, so it's 2 days to the East Coast one way, 5 days total, including the car show. So that really starts to eat up your time. And in addition, I've got family commitments back home, and I've also got to consider maintenance issues with the car and make sure it's always ready to make the next trip. So we got in 9 car shows this year. We had a couple of technical problems, but nothing very major. I don't really plan on major problems this year as well, but I'm going to try a slightly different approach. I'm going to start doing a car show in a given region every month this year in 2026. So I will have basically a base car show on a particular weekend, and then I'm going to try to get some of the car shows in adjoining states over the other weeks of that month. And that way things will work out a little smoother. I can leave the car in various locations where that main car show is, so I don't have to keep driving back to Denver. I can fly in and out and hop in the car and go across the state line and pick up another car show. I'm also hoping to find some car shows on Saturday in one state and some car shows on Sunday in another state, which will speed up the process and make things work a little better. I've already got 9 states in. They're all kind of western states, with the exception of maybe Wisconsin. And that was fairly easy because they're all adjacent to Denver. But as we move to the east, it gets a little more difficult. So let me show you what I plan for each month, where the main car show is and kind of the region I'm working in. And I'd ask you if you've got some helpful hints or some car shows in the areas I'm highlighting to go ahead and give me some comments down in the bottom. Matter of fact, give me comments down at the bottom anytime. It really helps the YouTube algorithm, as does subscribing. So I encourage you to communicate as much as you can about your thoughts of my process, any ideas on how I could do it differently, and what you think about the car shows I've chosen so far, and maybe some car shows I've missed. So let's go ahead and start looking at the map and talking about what's coming up. Our first month is going to be March, and fairly late in March. Obviously, there's not a lot of car show activity in the winter, so we're looking for something in a fairly warm part of the country, and I think we found that. March 25th, Ponies in the Smokies, and so we've got a lot of nice adjacent states there. We've got Kentucky, we've got Alabama, we've got Georgia, we've got the Carolinas, so we should be able to pick up a couple of more car shows in that general area and maybe rip off 2 or 3 car shows in the southeast before the middle of April. So in the following month, April, on the 25th, we want to be down at the Bama Coast Cruise along the Gulf of Mexico. And once again, we've got a number of states nearby, so that should work out really well for us. I didn't find a whole lot of major national car shows in May, but on May 2nd, one caught my eye in West Virginia, partially because West Virginia is a pretty small state, and it's going to be difficult to find a car show there. But Lincoln County has a car show every year, and it looks like they've done a really good job of promoting it over time. So I'm expecting a pretty good show there. So once again, West Virginia's got a lot of good opportunities around it. Ohio, Pennsylvania, and going east, we've got Maryland, Virginia, and Delaware. So it looks like a good place to base our trip on, and that's exactly what we're going to do. On June 2nd, I'm going to be in Albert Lea, Minnesota for the Eddie Cochran car show. I guess Albert Lea is Eddie Cochran's hometown, and it's kind of the hometown of my folks. They both grew up fairly close to there. So I've got some ties back to Albert Lea. It'll be fun to get back there and see a car show. So that's where I'll be in June, and once again, have some adjacent states that should work out pretty well for us. Now, unfortunately, in July, I'm going to be staying at my home base in Colorado. I've got a number of life events hitting in July. I hit my 65th birthday. Our wedding anniversary is in July. My daughter's got a birthday then. So given all the activities then, it's best to be home. It's also a good idea to budget some time to take a good look at the Mustang II. And if there's some maintenance issues I've been deferring that I need to take care of, that's a great opportunity for that to happen. And if the car's going to be down for 10 days while I'm dealing with it, these Old cars are a little challenging because sometimes it's just about impossible to get parts. July will be a good time to do that. This is a terrible, terrible thing because the Mustang II reunion for 2026 is in July. As a matter of fact, it falls on my birthday. But I just can't, in good conscience, drive across the country and do a car show for my 65th birthday. I want to be home with the wife and the family, and I think everybody can appreciate that. So that's the July plan. I might run up to Wyoming and squeeze in a show. Wyoming is a quick trip. I can do it in and out in 2 days, and it'll click Wyoming off, which is handy because it's right there on the map next to Colorado. We'll see how July goes, but that's the initial plan, is a month of rest and reset and get ready for another push moving into the fall. For August, we've got the Hot August Nights in Reno, Nevada, a well-known car show, big event, and it's rather convenient to Denver. It's about a day and a half away, so that's a great place to start, and then maybe we can pick up a couple of more Northwest states while we're up in that general area. Finally, in September, we've got the Sturgis Mustang Rally up in Sturgis, South Dakota. A great event. Lots of people attended. Easy to get to for me. Just run across Wyoming and I'm there. So that's a great choice for September. Things are starting to slow down at that point. I might pencil in some car shows down in the southeast for October, November, December. But you start getting into weather issues there. And of course, not everybody's throwing a car show at that time of the year. So that's how we're going to wrap up the year. And so once again, if you've got some ideas you'd like to share with me about car shows I should go to, if you know some car shows near these car show events that I'm planning, go ahead and share that in the comments. And just reach out, share in the comments. It really helps the YouTube algorithm, and I appreciate any input I get from anybody. So thanks for hanging out with me, and remember this, no matter where you go, there you are. Before we wrap up, and for those of you who are interested, let me show you some of the aggravations associated with working on a car built in 1974. These are 2 clutch cables. This is a replacement one I ordered, and this is the one off of the car. Now, I knew there was differences between the later Mustang II clutch cables and the early Mustang II clutch cables, so I specifically ordered one for a 1974. The place I ordered it from showed a breakout for 74s, and when the part came in, as you can see from this close-up, it's got the end design for the 75 and newer Mustang IIs, so it won't fit on the clutch pedal on my 74, so I'm going to have to deal with that. So the 74 pedal just had a hook built into the tip and the cable wrapped around it, and as you can see here, it's actually wearing down, and in a few years it's probably going to wear through, which is undoubtedly the reason why Ford changed over to the new style, which puts a clevis pin up there, and then the cable slides over the clevis pin. So I'm going to have to install a clevis pin where the hook is, but I also have to reset the end ear so that the base of the clevis is set in a couple of or a half an inch or so. So we're going to have to kind of redesign this whole thing, but I think I got it figured out. I'll show you the final product once I get done put it together. So the job's done, and here's a compare and contrast. On the left we've got the old hook, on the right we've got the pin. We cut up an old brake pedal to create this extension, cut the hook off, welded the extension to the existing clutch pedal, and put a bolt in for the pin. And as you can see, the cable matches up perfectly and should work perfectly moving forward. The biggest advantage to doing this is because they no longer service the early 1974 cable by modifying the clutch pedal to take the newer cable. As we move forward, if this cable ever wears out, hopefully they're still providing the newer cable, and I'll be able to service it should I have any problems with the cable itself, and I won't have to do any modification at that point to make everything work.